Hey guys, it's Jasmine, your brow expert. So you're probably wondering, she looks like she's at a different spot. Well, I am. I am somewhere warm and somewhere tropical. So I say this because the tropical part, you might hear some background sound, which is kind of cool. I mean, I get the pleasure of hearing all different types of birds. So excuse me if you hear that. And maybe some ocean. Oh, there you go. Do you hear that sound? Okay, so I felt like, why not do a video on brow pen? I mean, I've done it so many times. The reason why I love to do a tutorial on the brow pen is because I love it. It's so important to have a few things when you travel, right? And that's the other thing I want to let you know. So I don't usually travel with a lot of makeup. And I always travel with a little concealer or foundation. I completely forgot. It's a little scary to have you guys see that this is my skin, like 100%, with no concealer, no foundation, maybe no filter. I don't know, I haven't decided on that yet. But yes, so I did forget that. But I did not forget my most important item, which is the brow pen. Why do I travel with this? Well, because for one, it's waterproof. So that's important because usually when you vacation, you're at somewhere warm, right? And so I am somewhere warm. Today's gonna be a little bit about how you can use this pen in just like little small areas to a full brow makeup. There's so many of you guys out there that have different shapes and sizes of eyebrows, hair, no hair, tattooed brows like myself, right? So if you guys haven't already subscribed, please click the red button to subscribe. I've been a brow artist for, almost 25 years now at the Anastasia Beverly Hills Salon, which by the way, you can still come and get your brows done by yours truly. And I do give you guys some brow tutorials, really quick little short videos that YouTube does provide. Some of you guys might have a full set, right? Your brows aren't tattooed like me. You have a good shape eyebrow, but you have some gaps, right? As we mature, ladies and gentlemen, we lose hair. It's just unfortunately a fact of life. We lose hair follicles. Let's get that clear. I say this because follicles are cells, right? You can't make new ones. You're born with an X amount, and that's what you have through the course of your life. So we want to be as careful and thoughtful of our hair as possible. So take care of them, okay? So be gentle. And so this is another reason why I love the brow pen. Because it's in that kind of liquid eyeliner type of felt, it is like, it doesn't hurt your eyebrow hair, right? Because it feels like you're not even putting anything on. So it's not harsh on your skin. Pencils can be if you're heavy-handed. Spoolie brushes is a must, especially with a brow pen, but it's also not healthy for your hair if you really press that hard. So everything's about being gentle. I sometimes tell my clients, go ahead and fill your eyebrows in the way that you're used to, whether it's a powder or pencil. Doesn't matter really, because if you're going to use the brow pen, which I suggest to use on top, it's going to keep your color on your eyebrows all day, right? But it might be a little intimidating to use this kind of pen-like marker feel, right? Because it can get intimidating. So do something that you know that is always trustworthy, right? And then you can rub a little bit of this on top and you ensure the color all day. Yes, can it go on dark? Absolutely, which is why the spoolie brush is important, because they're tattooed. It's obviously a lot easier for me to just fill them in. You guys don't have to get it so perfect. Remember, you're on a holiday. So you just want it enough to just kind of frame your face, right? So I always say brows, eyelashes, and a little bit of lip gloss, and of course sunscreen. But makeup is really important, believe it or not, you guys. The concealer or foundation around the eye, face, even you can use like a tinted moisturizer, really. That is like clothes on your skin. So even when you're not in somewhere warm or tropical like myself, wherever you're at, especially on a holiday, don't feel like, oh, this is a time to not wear makeup. Actually, it's the opposite. You want to put a little bit of something, especially around here on the eyes, because it's blocking the sun. It's slowing down the aging process, right? So again, think of it as clothes for your face, makeup. Even though it feels like you don't want to have anything on, just put a little bit, at least right around the eye area. So you're adding that extra protection, right? Okay, so you're putting on some color right around the eyebrow. Now you've gotten the background with some powder or pencil. If you did go on a little too dark, this is why the spoolie brush is so important, right? Because you're combing over it, you're toning it down, and I want you to see that I'm also pressing lightly. Very, very lightly. You've gotten your background here. Okay, so then that's where the fun part starts. Now there's a few ways to use the brow pen because it's in a kind of a pen-like marker look. Like I said earlier, it's kind of like a liquid eyeliner applicator. You only use, usually for me, I only use the tip, just right the longest tip of the pen, because I like little lines to kind of create that hair stroke look. But if you guys have a really big hole or you got a good set of eyebrows, but you just need to fill in that hole, then you just lay it down and you just do that. Now I'm doing this just to show you guys this is all what you may need to do, right? And if you like filled in that gap, you can also just not lay it straight down like I just did with that, but then you can just kind of use a tip just to add some background color with the pen, a little bit. And that's probably all you need to do with the spoolie brush. Okay, before your very eyes, you will see how much it tones down. So you may not see the line as much, but it will still be there, trust me. The main focus is to get that color inside that big gapped area. Now, using a product like this can be also very jarring and dark if you just start using it right up in the front. Because, I mean, this is just my preference, and if you guys are subscribing to me and you've watched my videos, you know by now that I don't like the fronts to be too dark, too square. Now, because I have that tattoo, it kind of gives off that look, but most of the color in the application will almost always be in the middle to the end. It's kind of like that ombre look where it's light, medium, and dark. To me, that looks much more attractive. And it's also easier to apply. So most of your application always will be in the middle to the end. Now, when you get up in the front, that's when you've gotten more comfortable. You know, you got the lay of the land here, you got most of the color out here, and now you're ready for the front. And so you're less likely to put a lot of color on or heavy pressure. Okay, because the front area is not only an area where you want the color to be lighter, but you want to be more gentle, right? Because we don't have that much hair up in the front. I don't care who you are, but most of us, not all, but most of us are not born with a ton of hair up here. So you want to be very gentle. You don't want to press or use a spoolie so hard where you're just pulling off too much hair there, right? So be very careful with that. Again, once you have that background, it's so much easier to like know where you want to put the pen. Now you notice that I'm holding it this way, right? Because I want this angle look. Okay, now whatever direction you're holding the pen, that's the direction of the line you're gonna get, right? Say that you're right-handed like myself, but then you gotta do the other eye, right? That's where it gets a little difficult, right? So that's when you wanna really make sure you apply with the light pressure. And what I like to do is, again, go at the end and then go forward, okay? So that's another reason why having some sort of background, whether it's powder or pencil first, really helps you to see where you're gonna apply the product. So again, see how I'm holding the pen in an angle this way? Because that's the angle I want the line to go. So, and I'm just pretending right now. This is something I didn't mention earlier, but when you take the pen out of the lid, it can get really wet and there could be a lot of product at the end. So have a tissue ready, or you can use your hand. So if you use your hand and just kind of start practicing, you know, like what kind of pressure you're applying, then you know, okay, well, that's how much color I have, or maybe not, because it depends also how you store the brow pen. If you've been using it for a while, you gotta make sure you hold it upside down so that the ink flows down. If you just bought the product, I like to keep it either laying down or upward this way so that the ink isn't all at the tip. So that's the other thing why it's a good idea to test it out first. Okay, so I'm holding it on this side and I'm just feeling it out. It's kind of like that fluffy, kind of natural look. It doesn't have to be so perfectly set in there. You guys see the direction of the pen. Once I've done the middle to the end, then I could feel like, okay, well, let me do the front. Notice that I'm just doing this. I'm not even touching my brows yet. Just so that you guys can see, if you just get a little bit, that's all that matters. Just a little bit right here, notice, see that? And if you don't have it all perfectly aligned, that's when you go back to your powder or pencil and just kind of fix any of those little areas. So, okay, so right up here, see, I'm going back and forth. And again, it's not about having it perfect. Here, I'm doing the same thing. Okay, so right up in the front. And because I just want that wispy hair stroke look, I'm not worried about getting it so perfect. And again, you guys, just having that background is everything. For those of you guys that are pretty good at what you're doing, you probably don't even need that background. You could just start going for it, right? Okay, so, and that is one technique. The other one is like I showed you earlier where you could just lay it down. Now, if you want the ends to be kind of dark or you don't have much at all, you could just lay the pen down and just apply it right on, like as if you're, I don't know, using a pencil or something. You notice how dark that is? But don't worry about it because you can just fix it up with a little bit of spoolie, okay? I mean, a little bit of pressure with the spoolie brush. I'm just barely touching, in my case, it's skin, but yours is probably hair. And I'm just combing it through to tone down the color. You guys can see already how toned down it is. And I almost always use the finger because it really just helps me to sharpen up the ends. I love the ends to be nice and sharp. Right here. And I'm just now going over the whole lines. Now, again, this is something that you guys can really practice at and just get a few lines. I mean, honestly, you probably only need a few lines. And notice that it's in an angle, like this way. I don't like the lines to be straight up and down. But again, that's me. You guys can really play around with it. Now, if you end up going a little square or dark up in the front and you look at yourself going, kind of like that, then go for it, because you know what? It's just makeup, right? You guys could always take it off later, start all over, or just, I don't know, be a representation of what you like the best. Don't look at everything else on the media or celebrities. Or, I mean, you want to be able to wear something that's you, but also what you like, right? But you are subscribing to me, so you like what I like, I'm guessing. So I like it angled, so I want you guys to do more of the angle, okay? So can you tell the difference? Can you tell that it's much fuller, feathery? It is a little darker, but I think that's part of it. Part of it is just the lack of filter, lack of something. But I really wanted to get on here to show you guys so many different things you can do with brow pen, the strokes, the filling in the gap, or make it really dark at the ends. Whatever kind of look you want, this is a guide to invest in, because the brow pen is just gonna last all day long. Please let me know in the comment box if you've tried this, if you are a fan of brow pen like myself. And thank you for watching here. And again, don't forget to subscribe. I will see you guys right back here. Thank you. Bye.